How do you think Brodie Croft looked today?
Thought he looked like Brodie Croft, but in a better coloured jersey.
Leeds has won back-to-back rugby league titles. The golden generation finally has its golden fleece. No England game, it seems, is complete without a Ryan Hall try. Jamie Peacock.
Kevin Sinfield.
Rob Furrow. Jamie Jones Buchanan for Leeds.
It's one of the most popular beards in rugby league, that.
There aren't many in Super League that can do that.
We just want to be a great friend, and if we can all try and be a bit of a better friend from time to time, I think we have a bit of a better place to live in.
The Lot Pod is kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. Fast Signs are an established family-run business who've been providing businesses around Leeds and West Yorkshire with effective signs and graphics for almost 30 years. Fast Signs are passionate about helping customers make a statement with signs that are eye-catching, effective and delivered fast. Hi everyone. Welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17A podcast, kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. We are back in the amazing Lot Pod studio for an off-season update. Eddie here with Rhys and Chris. How are you both?
Good.
Yeah, good. Back on the pod for the first time in a while, the three of us. The Lot Pod squad.
Lot Pod squad.
Well, it's the first time we're back in here for a while as well, to be fair.
Yeah, we've been very, very busy. Let me just get this housework out the way. We are doing a live show, if you aren't aware, at the Brotherhood Bar in Leeds City Centre on Thursday the 14th of November with our special guest, bestie of the pod, Jared O'Connor, is coming down to talk to us. It's at 7:30pm and there's happy hour drinks on offer, and we're also going to have the latest issue of our Lot 17A fanzine.
Fingers crossed.
Which will be available to buy on the night too. And I'm fairly adamant that Jared will sign the ones that you've bought as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk all things Rhinos with Jared. We're going to speak about Brad Arthur, about the new signings, the new kits. We'll also announce the winners of our annual Lot Pod Awards, and there'll also be a Q&A session as well, so you can ask to that audience, can ask some questions to Jared too.
And to us.
No one's going to want us.
We're the real celebrity.
Eddie, why is your head so big? I don't know, mate. I don't know. Ask Jared a question. Tickets are selling fast, and they really are. We aren't just saying that. They are £4 per person, which is an absolute steal in this day and age. But please do be quick. To pay? Yeah, we've all got to.
We'll pay our own entry.
But please do be quick though, because we do have dynamic ticket pricing in place. So they're £4 now, but who knows how much they'll be as demand rises. Tickets are available on the top pinned comment of this video on YouTube, and they're also available if you follow our X account at Lot17A. It's all there, and it's £4 a ticket. So my first question to you two is: are you enjoying your time away from the Rhinos? Are you enjoying the break?
We haven't had a break.
We've been busy.
What break?
Yeah, it's every year. It happened last year. I was like, season's done. Looking forward to just switching off, not texting you, not going on Twitter, and just kind of getting oblivious to rugby league. But somehow every October the Rhinos just manage to do stuff that make things interested, and annoyingly I'm really optimistic and excited for the season now.
Already?
Last year they signed Croft and Ackers around this time. This year we've been doing the signings that we've done in the movement, and I just wanted a month where I could just switch off, and now I'm really excited, and I've just got to wait 3 months now until we play, which is really annoying.
You feel similar?
I don't know, it's a bit weird because we do this. It's like I haven't switched off.
No, we haven't.
There's so much to do, and I don't mind that, to be honest, because usually I'd be kicking my heels now,
wanting it back.
Do you know what I mean? And
I'd say I'm the opposite. I'm the one that goes, "Can I just get a football manager out, please, and just ignore the Wills for a couple of weeks?"
Shut down.
I usually hate this time of year,
really,
because I just want to get back and
do it all again.
Rugby. But because we do this, we sort of.
I have to admit, I do miss on a weekend getting up and there not being rugby. I know obviously we had some of the internationals, but next weekend I will miss getting up on a Friday or Saturday and just putting the NRL on. I'm not looking forward to that, I have to admit, because I quite enjoy my morning rugby.
I think my wife might be happy.
Yeah.
Well, no, because we're doing this.
We're doing this. We just haven't had time to switch off. I'm enjoying it. You know, we are still dipping our toe in, but I am, after the past 2 seasons, I just need...
I was thinking this
kind of
earlier.
dip my toe back in little bits. But the fact they aren't playing, I must admit...
Last season...
that they aren't playing.
I don't think I enjoyed it very much.
No.
Obviously, the first half, it was just... The atmosphere was toxic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was getting bad.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really enjoyable,
It wasn't
was
nice.
it?
It wasn't, and also we weren't playing that well. So you didn't have
No.
a buzz about going up to Headingley. It became a bit more of a chore.
Yeah.
Going, oh, for God's sake, I've got this Rhinos
I've got
game
to go
tonight.
because I've got
a season ticket.
And then obviously the Rob stuff. But even after that, and even when Brad Arthur came in, it was like, I'm looking forward to next season.
25 rather than 24.
It's probably one of the least enjoyable seasons I can remember. And one thing I thought about, actually, because I'm a really big fan of Friday night games.
You are.
There was a spate where we didn't have a Friday night game for like 3
We had
months.
Saturday games, didn't we?
Yeah, which is fine. I think the finals are one-off. I know it's a personal preference, but it's just me. I like Friday. And then it's done for the weekend, so I can either be celebrating a good win or get over a loss before Monday.
Yeah.
The worst ones are Sunday games.
Yeah.
I hate Sunday games.
The linger.
But it was weird this season because there was like a block, wasn't there? Where
Yeah, I'm just trying to
The
think.
Friday games.
We didn't have many Friday games, did we?
No.
Quite a lot of Saturdays.
which is weird because I know that Fridays are best for corporate and stuff like that, aren't they? They
I think
usually
the best for the club, to be honest.
So yeah, I'm glad it's over, really. But what has been good is the pod, hasn't it? What we've done.
Exactly.
So
Well, let's
that
start
takes
by
the edge off, doesn't it?
Exactly. Let's start by talking about what we love most: ourselves. We've been busy. 2 outstanding podcasts, I reckon. Not just outstanding with the guests.
A record podcast.
Exactly,
As well.
outstanding numbers for us because we finally ticked over this week, yesterday,
Yes, they went over 3,000.
3,000.
views, which is more than the Leeds Rhinos Box 2 podcast with Ian Blease.
Was
We
it?
actually-
I was going to ask
We
that.
actually beat the official Leeds Rhinos.
Sorry,
viewing
Phil.
Figures, although
Sorry, Phil.
Jake Connor the Box 2 for Jake Connor's blown out the water now, so we need to catch that up.
We just need Jake on the pod. then,
To
don't
see
we?
Jake to come on the pod, but yeah, 3,000 views. I think we broke over 1,000 views within 12 hours. It was just
It was mental, that,
It was
wasn't it?
every 15 minutes. Me and Chris were texting each other. Going, it's another 100. Another 100. It's going like that. But thanks so much for engaging with it all because that's why we do it at the end of the day, isn't it? We do it because we want to reach it out and
Absolutely.
enjoy it and get that
Absolutely.
engagement. The comments were
100%.
were so great. I absolutely loved it. I could have been in that podcast about 5 hours with him.
Well,
with him and Rob.
you might have done, but it was so stressful.
It was a bit stressful in the lead up. We probably need to address the live status.
Well, first of all, how did it happen? The club invited us down out the blue to speak to both Blease and
it was
Oates.
it has to be Monday.
It has to
And
be
it has to be
Monday.
live.
And the club wanted it live, which was
Fine.
So we advertised it as live, but we were using the podcast studio that they've got at Headingley, which is JJB's company, Ram Media. So it was like a hybrid of Ram Media's equipment and our equipment. We thought, yeah, we can definitely get that to work. But then, bear in mind, we were supposed to go live at 7:30.
We were there at 6.
We were there at 6, so we gave it an hour and a half of we need to get this live. Some of you may have even seen me and Reese. We did like a quick live, didn't we? And then pulled it.
Yeah,
to say,
couldn't
is
hear
this
you.
working?
Yeah.
Nobody. And then we did everything we could, and it got to about 7:15. And we just decided, right, we now need
It
to
wasn't even that. It
focus.
was 7:30. It was
Yeah.
We now
ready
need
to
to-
start, and there's Ian Blease and Rob Oates stood there with a cup of tea behind us, kind of sat twiddling the thumbs, going, "This is looking a bit stupid now." And in panic, we forgot to put a message out because we were just recording, weren't we? As soon
just
as-
had to go. We
We just
get
had to
it
go
out.
because we only had them for so much time.
But they were brilliant, and they were very sweet, and they were both awesome. One thing I will say is that anyone that knows me, if I like you, I'm a hugger. I hugged you in the car park. Did I hug you?
Not today,
You
I'll
didn't
hug-
get- you
I'll
didn't
hug
get
you
hugged.
afterwards.
Yeah, you had a pizza when you were sat there.
Well, that's true.
Okay,
That's they sold out of salads. But I'm a hugger, so Rob Oates is as well.
Yeah.
So I hugged Rob Oates instantly, but I also hugged Ian Blease.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't see that.
I missed that.
Of course I did. and I hugged him.
How uncomfortable was he in with that?
No, it was fine. And
Maybe he's a hugger.
He is a hugger. He definitely is.
Don't come if we ever get Brad Arthur, I don't think he'll be a hugger.
I'll try to hug him. I'll definitely try to hug him. Probably say, get the fuck off me, mate. Straight in with a strong handshake. This is Ian Blease. Pulled me in. It was tight. It was right. And it was strong. A real clinical, even with the back pat in there as well.
All right.
And a how are you? Do you remember when he first signed? We said he looks like a well-dressed man.
Well, yeah.
Can you remember anything else that I said about Ian Blease?
Yeah, with me, I think I said he's always got a nice suit and tie on, and
I also said that he smells nice, or he looks like a man that smells nice.
This is getting a bit weird now. I'm just going to put it out.
He smells outstanding.
It's getting really, really weird.
He smells absolutely.
Okay.
Sorry, Ian, if you're watching this.
It's officially weird now.
It's weird. Ian, you
Right, let's
smell
move
good.
on.
What's wrong with that?
But in terms of the guy himself and Rob, Rob's great, and we've had Rob on the podcast for things, but I just think with Ian Blease, I could sit with him in a pub.
Yeah, it
for
was
a pint
good, wasn't it?
for 4 or 5 hours and just talk to him because he's incredible, really great to talk to. But his knowledge, how he comes across, how he says things,
he speaks really well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I think people picked up on that.
Yeah, they did.
No bullshit.
yeah, proper credit to the club.
And he opened up a bit more than I thought he might have done.
Especially off mic. I mean, everything
Yeah.
he told us that we can't tell everybody, about the signings. He was really open with us.
And the club have just been great. I mean, they
Been
were
outstanding.
all marketing people were there, and
That was a bit daunting, actually. I wasn't expecting to have a bit of an audience. We had Phil Daly there, we had Leanne there, we had Matty there. We had a bit of an audience going on in the
You
background.
see it here? It's just Carl Pratt, tied to the radiator. Hey, Carl, I'll throw you some of his pieces in a moment.
and Phil's a good lad, isn't he? So
Yeah.
we were ribbing him a bit, weren't we?
Well, they
Even
as well.
up
They hung around whilst we had to magically edit it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they were very understanding.
I think Phil
Very
was just
understanding.
glad that it wasn't him this time having to do it, because I
Yeah.
get the feeling that he's done a lot.
A million times.
And I think he had a wry smile on his face. Going,
Yeah.
guys, I've done this. Yeah, it was brilliant.
It was brilliant. That's available now to watch on our YouTube channel. So is the Ash Hanley one. Make sure you support Ash in his testimonial year. Anyway.
Ash is a great guy as well, by the way.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
He was a phenomenon. Yeah, he was brilliant. And again, Ash, thanks a lot.
Yeah, he speaks really well, doesn't he? And he's a really open, honest guy.
You could tell how much the Rhinos meant to him.
Yeah. It just shines
talking,
through, doesn't it?
Yeah, he bleeds the
Andy showed us his testimonial shirt, so
yeah.
Looking forward to that one. But no, really, really great guy. And it was.
We should get it for the.
It was one of those where it was.
sign it.
Well, we asked him, is anything off limits, doesn't it? Like, is anything you don't want to talk about? But it was like, no, just fire everything across.
He didn't care.
Was happy to talk to anything. I did like it when he asked if he could swear. I felt at that moment he really opened up at that point.
He'd relaxed then.
It's all right.
He'd really relaxed then. I felt he'd fart in front of us. He was that comfortable.
But
he wouldn't.
I do need him to start manifesting grand final winners in his diary.
Definitely.
I find it fascinating how he wrote score a kick, a try for kick from Brodie and KR before the KR game, and that happened. So you need to start writing grand final winners 2025.
Treble winners 2025.
Please,
yeah, so we can't thank him enough, really, because he got in touch with us, didn't he? So it was,
He reached out, yeah.
So 2 nights out on the road in Leeds. Go see Ash on the 13th at Roxy's.
Yeah.
Come see us on the 14th.
Come see us on the 14th. That's a good week for you. Anyway, 2024 season ends. The Rhinos have been very busy in the transfer market. We've covered Reece Martin. I don't think in gravy. We've covered him in gravy. And we've sent him to Hull. Yeah, precisely. We've sent him to Hull. He's not going to live in Hull, by the way. So the outs. We'll start with the outs. Who's left the club since we last spoke to you all? Paul Momirovski left the Rhinos. We felt like that was always happening.
It was the world's worst kept secret.
Yeah, it's been happening for a long while. We've kind of known about that.
Well, it felt like that might have been on the cards even before the name Sivo was starting to get linked.
Yes.
I think he was probably the most likely candidate of a quota spot that was probably going to go.
I agree.
And I think this is all part of, again, Blease getting the credit and the credit he should deserve for, on paper, being quite ruthless in managing the cap and making the moves to make the moves that he needs to bring the players in for Brad Arthur.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit good about Momirovski because I thought when he was signed, I really liked him. He came across as sort of very
Seemed the perfect
experienced
calibre.
leader. A little bit, was qualified as a leader, well thought of, but it never
Just
really
didn't work, did it?
Never got going. He never got the relationship with the fans either. I don't think. He just never really on the same page. And towards the end of the season, to be honest, I was quite annoyed at him. I felt like he not that he gave up, but there was some efforts towards the end of the season where I was like, "Come on, this is not.
You're better than that.
That's not on." So, and a result, I'm not that bothered about him going.
I'm sort of gutted it hadn't worked out because he did show some glimpses, didn't he? But I mean, we've heard murmurs, haven't we, that he was homesick or things like that, and I know very well how much that can affect your professional life, having been through it. So it's like there's always stories, isn't there, that, and it's just a shame.
And you know, in terms of playing, he was playing well always when he was with Ash, and then
for whatever reason,
with the move around from there, it all sort of tailed a bit
That didn't
off.
make sense, did it?
But as there's rumours that he's got a coaching gig.
That seems mental to me. He's only 28.
Which is funny though, because Ash was saying that if anyone's going to be a coach, it
would be him.
He's a proper nerd.
Yeah, he said he speaks well, doesn't he? And that he speaks like a coach.
But 28.
Well,
he must be playing some reserve.
Longevity of your career, though, isn't it?
He must be playing some reserve grade.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? You might think, I'm not putting my body through that if I can do something else. And
he's just had enough.
He could have a longer career as a coach.
Because he did have a bad injury, didn't he? So he might be thinking, well,
I'm done here.
So it's a shame, but I think it's the right move for the club.
Yeah.
We
needed that quarter spot on.
Yeah.
And it allowed someone to come in and a big
someone
name.
bigger and better to sign. Who else left? Justin Sangare. Another player released. I'm sure he had a year left on his deal. So that's 2, like you say, with Brad Arthur and Ian Blease. They kind of know what they want, and we don't have to force them. We don't know. But what did we lose with Justin Sangare? Have we lost anything with this guy leaving, Chris? Has it been, were he here 2 years?
We've lost a prop.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so we are a prop.
Have we lost any quality?
Down? Probably not. I mean, what were he? Would he have been 6th?
7th,
6th. So you're not really losing much, are you? But no. I think I've heard calls for people. Well, we've got to replace him, but it's not that easy, is it? Because you're replacing a 6th rotation prop. What are you going to get? You're not going to get a starting prop that's going to come in and want to take that place.
And you've no quarter spots.
I'm actually thinking not to replace him. I think Bentley will play as he did. Prop. And the younger kids are a year older, and fingers crossed, Tom Allroyd plays.
Yeah. More time for little Tom as well.
So I don't know what you're.
Did we lose anything with Sangare going?
I'm being brutally honest now, to be honest, and I don't mean that out of. I don't mean to be cruel to Justin, but I just. He's not a Brad Arthur player.
No, he's not.
You look at the sort of...
He's not a Rhinos player.
You want the...
Well, he ain't now.
Well, he knows at Salford.
You look at what Brad Arthur needs. He needs work rate, he needs fitness, he needs that athleticism, which Justin doesn't have, and he's not going to be able to do it over the pre-season. He's obviously a big bloke. He didn't always use his size to the best of his ability. But I think the true measure of these outgoings is, and I said this about last year's outs, the majority of these will not go on to bigger or better clubs.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Than Leeds. These will all go to
They
different...
don't often do that, though, to be fair to Leeds, do they?
There's only Sam Walters that's gone on to arguably bigger, better thing with Wigan. Connie, kind of, yeah. But in recent years, but yeah, I can't see Sangare really going to a bigger side. I think he'll probably end up at a
Cass,
Wakey, Salford. I think Salford was the rumour, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he'll probably go well at Salford. It's a different environment for him, isn't it? And
he's just not. He's certainly. I don't want to say he's rubbish, because I don't think that's fair to say.
I don't think he is rubbish. I just don't think it's worked out again.
Doesn't work for us, and it's not certainly going to work for Bad Arthur's side next year.
No
See
chance.
if he works out elsewhere. I highly doubt it. Another one, Gudemond, as above, really. Are we losing anything?
Start of the season, I really like
I
Gudemond.
thought
Worked really, really hard, didn't he? And
Brad Arthur obviously just didn't rate him, did he? So because he didn't
barely played, did he?
He barely played, but he's one of. He's not what we need next year.
No.
So I think that it's
In terms of pecking order,
it's not particularly having a go at these players. It's just they've got to be ruthless, and I think we are tight on cap. I don't think it's the club spinning that. I think we are tight on cap, and
we were spending up to it last year anyway.
It will release cap space, and I don't think we need to replace Gudemond.
No, because he's way down the pecking order anyway.
We've got Gannon coming back.
Yeah.
But yeah, he won't be in the squad.
Who looks massive, by the way.
So yeah, no, just another one where it's just a. I feel like the three obvious choices. I think if people had put a list out of 3 players that you think we should move on,
they've just wiped them out, haven't they?
I actually think those are
hit
the 3 that most fans would have said at the end of the season,
and all 3 of them have gone.
So all make logic and sense.
I hope they all go on to do all right.
Yeah, wish them well.
You know what I mean? It's not they haven't chosen to leave, have they?
No.
So it's a bit
if
different.
If anything, we should thank them for not being difficult.
Yeah.
And moving on so that we can bring the people in which we're about to talk about.
Yep.
Ins. So who have we signed? Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall's back, which is absolutely marvellous, on a 1-year deal. Where do you feel Ryan, is he going to start for you? Where do you feel?
So I think this is a wider conversation. We need to talk about Sivo involved in this as well. So obviously Sivo's been brought in.
So he's absolutely world class.
I just think at the moment where last year or in previous years we've had players had to come into different positions where they've been square pegs and round holes, whereas there's a theme here, isn't there, of proper versatility in this side. Yeah. Now, you could argue maybe not versatility because we've got 3 left wingers now.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do, stack alt left-hand side with M3.
Left-hand side with M3, yeah.
But I just think...
Play Hawley at second row.
I think it just means that Brad can go maybe game by game. This might be better game for Hawley and Sivo on the wings. And it might be that one game it fits Hanley. It means if someone drops off injured, we've got good cover. And not just cover. We've got proper depth in that outside back.
We're going to say injuries because they always happen, don't they? You're not going to go through it, and we've seen it this year, and Alfie's been brilliant, hasn't he? But to have somebody, one of Ryan Hall, Sivo or Hanley to drop in...
That is absolutely unbelievable.
That's... Sivo should... fingers crossed, I don't want to big him up, but if he can score that many tries...
I mean, 105 tries in 114 appearances. 104 tries, sorry, in 115
And you look at some of the highlights, and a lot of them are just close range.
Yeah, well, you're not going to stop.
But you're not going to stop him.
You're very rare you're going to stop him or Ryan Hall from 5-10 metres out, are you?
But that's not a bad thing, is it? No. You don't look at highlights package and see loads of fancy tries. You need someone who's going to score, and he swatted. I saw one where he swatted off Tedesco. Nearly threw him into stand.
Yeah,
but I mean the size of him and Ryan Hall carrying out from back as well, like that's some serious size when we're carrying back, returning kicks, and then also something that I think we just don't do enough. Kicking for the corner, you've got 2 massive bodies.
We never did it to Fussy too,
no. But you've got 2 massive bodies on either side now, where you can kick to. And if one's not playing well or one's injured, Hanley goes back onto the wing. I do think. Right, I'm going to ask the question. Shirt numbers. What would you do? Do you leave Ash to have his number 5?
I think it's
because I think Ash has earned that number 5. He owns that number 5. He's player of the year. I don't think he should have to relinquish that. But I also don't think he's going to play on the wing. And obviously then Ryan Hall, probably one of the most famous number 5s, at least Rhinos, is coming back.
Do you know what I'd do?
I think Sivo will take number 2. That's
Definitely,
done.
yeah. You don't sign him and not give him a 2, do you?
Yeah.
I think Ash will keep 5, and I think they'll give Ryan Hall his first number.
Was it 22?
Something like that.
He got 22 in one of the grand finals.
Yeah. Or if Ash is going to play centre, he was quite coy about it. He didn't give much away, did he?
He said he didn't know, which I don't believe.
Would it be better for him to have the centre's number?
Well, I think someone else will have that number.
Saying all that, he's just had a logo done with the number 5 in his testimony. He's going to be number 5.
He's definitely going to be number 5. Yeah.
So I think Ryan Hall would have to go to 22 in his original number, I think.
And I think that's quite a nice circling it all off, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah, it makes sense.
Do you think Ryan Hall's the kind of guy that it matters to him?
What, the number? Or?
Yeah, because it matters to some people, doesn't it? Like, you look at, going back a bit, Stuart Fielden had 29 all the way through his career, didn't he?
Yeah.
Rob and Danny always wanted 6 and 7, whether they played there or not. Kev wanted 13.
Yeah.
It matters to some people, doesn't it?
Are you bothered about numbers?
It would matter to me.
Would it?
Yeah.
Do you like the idea of squad numbers, or do you rather just go to 17 on a match day?
No, I like squad numbers.
I like squad
think
numbers.
It keeps us unique.
I like squad
to the
numbers, and
But you become synonymous with that number.
With
the number. The 7 at Rhinos is forever stitched as Rob.
And there's a commercial reason as well. You can sell shirts with squad numbers.
Yeah.
And Glyn would have a fit if it was. How many shirts would he have to do?
Swap around, yeah.
I like squad numbers. I don't see I don't think it really matters.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at. To take it off topic, football, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I saw someone
Football is ridiculous.
with
I agree.
55 on, and
That
you're
was
like,
Hull FC, not a football.
Well, that's true,
That was
isn't
Hull
it?
FC this year.
But
They got to number 50.
I think the argument that you need the number to know the position, I think it's a bit of...
No.
And I like the squad numbers.
I don't think Ryan Hall starts at all.
Do you?
No.
Not at all. I think Ryan Hall is a legit squad player for Leeds next
Do
year.
you think he'd be happy? I just don't think he'd be happy coming
Well,
back.
he said that he's not coming back to be a bit part player.
I think
but
he is.
The only thing he might think is if he's
you'll
only
have something to say about
if
that.
he's only playing 10 games a year, he might get another year out of it if he wants.
That's what I was saying on the Ash pod. I think he'll be here for longer than the initial 1 year. I'm quite adamant.
I think it all depends on in pre-season who because I think there's other elements that affect this. Because if Connor, who's we're going to talk about in a second, but if he's tried out at the halfback with Brodie Croft and he does really well, then it might mean we have to put Ash at hand at centre. But then if Connor then plays really well at centre, then he might start at centre, which then means you've got a selection choice between 3 wingers, which any side would have in their side. So I think there's so much up in the air and undecided because I think it all comes. I think it just comes down to in that pre-season what's working, and it can change. Like I say, if Brad wants to think actually this might be a better game for like Ash to be on the wing, then it means we've got that versatility.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? See how they all gel.
Yeah,
I'm
really looking forward to it. I think our outside backs are strong as we've had for a long time.
If you look at as outside backs, my mate Miller at back, and then you've got 2 massive wingers. If Ash does play centre, he came through as a centre.
Yeah, he broke into the team, didn't he, in 2018?
And he actually said, didn't he, that he played his best.
You've got
year.
Harry.
You've got
Harry still, obviously, who had probably his most fit season.
Yeah.
In 2024, that back line has improved. You look at the movements that's happened. That back line is better than last year.
Drastically. Just the fact we'll have someone on the wing. No disrespect to Alfie, but
he's not a winger, is he, Alfie?
No, he's a fullback.
Yes, fullback.
So that's good for his development that he's Miller's understudy.
Yeah.
And that's what he is, not a backup winger.
Yeah.
Jake Connor. Oh, go on.
I was just thinking, I know we started this conversation, Ryan Hall, but Sevo is that sort of marquee signing that really we should be going out there. And, that doesn't happen without Brad Arthur, I don't think.
Absolutely not.
Well, he said, didn't he?
And Paramount.
Absolutely.
But the part of me is maybe slightly worried, us and niggle him ahead about Sevo, is that Paramount are obviously very keen to get him off their cap. They're paying half his salary. There was some injuries this year, wasn't it? Because he only played 11 times this year. I know he had a bit of a suspension at the beginning of the year, but he did get out for 6-7 weeks of an injury. I just hope, because I was buzzing when we signed Fussy Tour, and he had a good try record himself when he came over.
He did, but he'd actually not played for a couple of years, had he?
So I just hope that Sevo is still fully fit, because if he is, and we get a good season out of him, I just think he will score tries. He won't score 50 tries, like that stupid journey set down under. But he will be
40 tries.
I think if you look at grand final winning teams of the last years, they've had wingers that will score 20 tries a year. I mean, Liam Marshall does it every year for Wigan.
Yeah. You need that, don't you? And Ash would have done it if he hadn't got injured.
You need a player who's going to finish those tries and get over 20 tries a year. And Sevo has the potential to do that.
I just think, like you mentioned earlier, it's the carries, the meters they're going to make from
the quick ruck speed we should get off their carries, him and Ryan and Ash, because Ash always carries out great from our back. The will again fits into Brad Arthur's mold, isn't it? Quick ruck, quick speed, and
direct
and running hard and direct. I can't wait.
Yep, 40 tries. This is that Sevo is essentially the replacement for Fussy Tour, and as replacements go, that is the best. There's no one else we could have got.
Well,
anywhere near as good.
You're not going to get the days of getting first line NRL. There's always some reason why they're going to come to England. Mm-hmm. you're not going to get your Brent Webbs, you're not going to get your Ali Lauatitis anymore. It's just the salary cap.
Yeah.
It's so big over there. So you're not going to get anyone better than somebody like Steve, are you?
No.
I think that's
the most
that,
you can
considering it. Obviously, it's after we're coming late into the market. It is one of the better signings we could have made that's realistic.
Every other club in league would have signed him.
Yeah.
Oh, that I doubt. Absolutely. And they'll all be jealous that we have signed him. Jake Connor, the pantomime villain, is finally a Rhino. What was your initial reactions when it kind of came to be? Because we've flirted with him before. We've flirted with him towards end of year when...
Oh, you tweeted it. Well, it's a joke of a season. You might as well sign
we might
Jake
as well.
Connor
To see if it's makes it any funnier. Because
I was sending Laurie all his tweets he said about Jake Connor, which is quite funny. I had to check myself when it becoming a reality. I had to sort of take a step away from my usual gut reaction to Jake Connor because I think
it's how he's our wanking.
Does anyone that wears blue and amber deserve the chance to win us over and to be supported instantly? I said the same about Matt Frawley yesterday when he got signed, but everyone kicked off about him. I'm like, no. He gets a shot in the blue and amber shirt. Right, you make your decision once he's played, unless obviously they've done something morally wrong, then that's completely different. But yeah, when I heard about it, I was like, really, I'm not a fan of this at all. And that was my gut instinct reaction. But I've really kind of warmed to it in recent weeks.
I've been exactly the same. Like your first reaction, oh God, and then actually it does make a bit of sense.
Well, he's versatile. He can cover centre, full-back and half-back. It's only 2-3 years ago he got 30 assists in 1 year.
He's a skillful rugby league player.
He went it was one game for Hull FC where I'm pretty sure he passed the ball around his back. He did a dummy grubber kick and passed the ball around his back and went.
It was the first game.
He killed us that game
back from COVID, wasn't it?
And it's a proper Blees signing, isn't it?
Yeah,
someone that's probably
absolutely
career's not going because
on the money.
I mean, we're playing for Huddersfield, which is that bad for anyone, isn't it? So
yeah. I think. So, have you listened to the Box 2 podcast?
Yeah, I did.
I would implore anyone to listen to it.
He comes across really well, doesn't he?
You learn a lot about him because he doesn't come out in the media that lot apparently, or does podcasts and stuff. But it was really interesting. Yeah, he was really interesting.
Come on, Jake.
And he said he needed a change, and he wasn't happy, and he'd gone into his shell. And we don't want Jake Connor in his shell, which he kind of went into at Huddersfield.
I want him winding everyone up.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
I think
as long as he's playing well.
In his 2 recent last setups, he's not really had the best team. Obviously, he's been part of an FC team that were in severe decline, and then Huddersfield has stuff's been all over the place for the last 2 years. So I think he needed a fresh change and a fresh start, and I think he sees it as that. But if he's happy, he'll play well.
And he can wind it, like you just said, he can wind anybody up.
Yeah.
As long as he's playing well.
If he's playing well,
he'll probably wind up Harry on the pitch.
He can do it.
Well,
if he's not playing well,
there's an interesting one. I've read a bit of a rumour, and we could end up with the biggest shithouses in
team
the
in the league.
It's current England international.
Yeah, there's another rumour going around.
Are you going to say what it is?
It was flying around on Saturday. John Bateman.
West.
I heard it.
Pay someone to get him out of the club.
I've heard a number of times in the South Stand on Saturday.
Do you know what? That makes a
lot
lot of sense.
How would we get him?
Because West want him off their books.
But his wages are absolutely astronomical.
It's just a rumour at the moment.
The rumour I've read is it's a season-long loan with them paying his wages.
But do it.
But
imagine that.
Do it.
Sticking on to Jake Connor, I think if he's happy at the Rhinos and he settles in, he'll play well. And like you say, I want that ego, I want that character. If he plays well and we're winning, do all you want. Like you said, he's our knobhead now.
He is.
But when Harry's playing well and he winds people up, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got two of them on either.
And again,
we've got two and Bateman.
The versatility again. If Lackey goes down, we've got Jake Connor, who's quite a good full back. Centre, you cover centre. He plays centre. Half back, we've got there. But the only worry I've got here is we've added really good depth and versatile depth here. Is I think game time could struggle now for players like Edgell, Lum, Jacksonfield, and they need to need to move them out on loan somewhere to get game time.
I agree with that, but at the end of the day, we need to start winning, and we need to start. And I don't think we've got the time to sort of. No. I think those kids will naturally take over.
I just want them to have game time, and I just don't. But I think because of the depth we've added, I mean, someone's going to in that back line. If you start with Miller, and let's say it's Hawley, Sevo, Ash, Newman, and Frawley and Croft. You know, Connor's a big name that's missing out that week. If you say actually no, it's Hanley and Sevo, then Hall's missing out.
Hall's missing out.
There's going to be some. If you're fully fit side, there is a big player
sat in the stand,
a very good player sat in the stand. Not even on the bench, because where do you put them on the bench when you need your Jared on there to cover 9 and 13?
Yeah,
and you need your size.
I think the good thing about Jared, friend of the pod,
bestie,
he can actually cover a few himself, can't he? I've seen him play prop.
Yeah, he's played second row,
so it's
9.
just going to be really interesting. Now, one thing about Connor as well, which don't get talked about, is a really good goal kicker.
Yeah,
is that mad?
So
he's not far off Reese's percentages when he kicks.
Yeah, I used to get about 90 to 100% when I kicked.
And they kicked 2 in front of the pitch.
Kicked 2 for Yarmbury in 2017.
But no, my gut reaction's completely changed to what I'm kind of really on board with it now. What you haven't really said what you thought.
My only concern is, whilst Brad Arthur's here, fine. The second Brad Arthur goes, which we don't know when that will be, that's when I think the coach who comes in will have to be someone as strong-minded as Brad Arthur, which is obviously not many of them around. Because I think that's when an issue with Jake Connor could arise. If we get a weaker coach,
I think
he has a lot of personality. Of course there is. But that's so. Whilst Brad's here, which we hope is for the long term, this signing for me absolutely fine. I don't think Brad Arthur will cover his George. Let him talk shit on the pitch if he's playing shit.
If he's playing shit, no. I think if he's playing well, go for it.
I think Brad Arthur will say that to him. I think, who am I? But I think he'll say at half time, for instance, if we're getting beat, he'll say, Jake, shut up. We're in no position for you to be running your mouth. And then when we're winning, on the flip side, he'll probably be saying to him, you go out there, wind that prop up, wind that half back up, because he's absolutely pulling his hair out at you. But my only concern is, if/when Brad Arthur leaves, I feel then we might get a different
cross
version
that bridge.
Exactly.
It's nothing to worry about now.
But it's going to be fun regardless.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm fairly adamant we'll be on this pod saying Jake Connor has just had a 10 out of 10 game, and then the following week we're on here saying he's absolutely...
I don't want to see that appealing he did against St Helens
dog poo.
I'm not having any of that. No. And if he does that at Headingley, the crowd will...
And I think...
Well, that's another thing as well.
It's going to hinge on how well we're playing, isn't it? If you get a player like him and in a decent side... He's been unfortunate as Jake, really. I mean, he did play in a good Hull side.
Well, they won the Challenge Cup, didn't they?
And he shone then, didn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think if we play well and we're winning, and I think you'll see...
He deserves his chance in blue and amber, and the South Stand's got to get behind him.
Exactly.
As of anyone that wears blue and amber when they first start out.
I'm
really looking forward to it.
And I think, look, we haven't really had any... I know Harry does it, but we need some shithouses. Yeah. Look at when we had Ryan Bailey
we're going to have 3.
And Carl Abler.
We've got him, Newman, Connor and Bentley, potentially bloody
Bateman.
Christ.
You're right, team of shithouses.
We can get Bateman, and West are paying his salary. Get him in.
Definitely. Like I say, that is a rumour.
For a year.
That is a rumour.
That's a rumour. Cooper Jenkins, second row / prop from North Devils. Ian Blease mentioned on the pod with us that lots of clubs were chasing him after that grand final. And Brad Arthur were like calling Ian Blease to say,
have we got the deal done?
We've definitely got him. We've definitely got him after that performance. But obviously we had signed him to a deal. Looks a huge prospect. Seems to be someone well thought of. Think young, tall, good looking.
I think
another Michaletsky.
He's going to be a masterstroke, I think.
You watched that grand final game, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did.
So you can pretend to know what you're on about ever so slightly.
And you said he's the best player. You said he's the best player.
I tell you what, he just reminds me of Mick. Big, strong leg drive.
Yeah.
Can play
100 metres
lots of minutes. Did a lot of metres and hits hard. I think he'll be a masterstroke. It's a gamble.
I think any overseas quota spot's a gamble.
It's a gamble. You could sign... Jesus, how many expensive...
You could sign Jesus. You could.
Jesus.
That'd be a gamble.
How many expensive NRL players have we signed that have turned out to be shy?
Tavano.
Who, by the way, we've not seen his tackle against Papua New Guinea. Have a look. He's clearly not changed.
He has not changed. Fussy tour.
And I just... Because I watched... You know when you sign someone and you watch them more closely, don't you? So I got up and watched that game and I was like, just... zoning in on him, and I'm like,
Player cam.
he'll go well in Super League. He has had some injury issues, which is probably why he's not broken through in NRL yet. But he's only young, isn't he? And he's huge. But he used to be a sprinter. I think he held a record for a 200 metres. Something when he were a kid. So he came through as the winger. So he's fast.
I would just morphed into this.
Yeah, I was surprised how quick he is. So he'll get metres, and when he hits his leg drive, he kept going because he's a big guy. I think he'll be he's not going to do fancy stuff, not offloads, all that sort of stuff. He's just going to
carry hard.
I think
the big nasty prop we've all been.
He's a bit like, and I'm a massive fan of this guy, Ethan Havard.
Yeah,
bit like that. He'll just go.
Just constant,
and I bet he could do 80 minutes if he needed to. So
and that's just from one game, guys. So imagine
could have been his best game of his life, and he's absolute dog shit. But
that's just a review of one game, guys.
This is probably the signing if I'm nervous about any of them, it's this one.
Is it?
Because it's unknown. It's the fear of the unknown for me. I've not watched any game time. I'm relying on Blees and Brad Arthur.
On me watching him play 60 minutes.
Yeah. I'm relying on Blees and Arthur, trusting that he's good enough. I think it's a risk using a quota spot on.
I agree with that.
Because that's what I asked this Ian Blees on our podcast with him about. People want to see quota spots used on the bigger, first 13 players, and he was dubbed as a rising star. So I'm like, well, should really be using a quota spot on a rising star? But he sounds like he will be in the 17.
That's what he said, didn't it? He said he's here to play.
Yeah,
but so I'm a bit nervous, but it's nervous because it's unknown. I've not seen him play, but I hope him and Sivo and Paliasia are coming at the start of pre-season. I know some might arrive a bit later, but we had Momirovski not coming until January.
Yeah,
and these players need to come in early, and hopefully that means we can then selfishly we can see them at the Boxing Day game. We can see them in the friendlies, so that I can make a bit of a better call on whether it's a good idea or not, or concerning or not.
When Ian Blees came in, we all said, I hope he brings some of what he did at Salford, which is find untapped talent. Now, whether it's Brad Arthur that's sourced him or not, I don't know.
It could have been Rowan.
I think it'll be a bit of a mix of Brad and Ian Blees and network and stuff.
Because it sounds like Brad would have been gutted if it didn't get
line. So, and, he said clubs were coming in from after that grand final performance. So, look, I think it's just, for me, it's just a bit of a fear of the unknown because I've not seen him play. It's not a well-known name.
It can work in his favour, that.
But you've seen other players come from Queensland Cup and New South Wales Cup over here and smash it.
Yeah, I think
so. It's any quota spot's a risk. I just hope this one pays off. But he's the right size though. He's a big line.
He's a big
guy. Big nasty prop is what we need. Talking of props, talking of quota spots. Keenan Palacia.
You got it right on the podcast, Blees. I don't know why you get it wrong now.
Palacia.
I keep getting his first name and Cooper Jenkins' first name mixed up.
Yeah, I did. Keep calling him
Keenan Jenkins and
Cooper Palacia. They're just one person. Signed from the Gold Coast, former Brisbane Bronco. Played yesterday, as we record this, for Samoa versus England at Headingley. And almost upgrades these two, Jenkins and Palacia, on Gudamond and Sangare.
I don't think this is a replacement for those two. I think
it's an addition, isn't it?
If anything, it's a change in the pecking order. This, when we talked about shirts earlier, I was talking about shirt numbers earlier. This is a number 10. I'd be very surprised if Holroyd retains that number 10 shirt.
No chance.
And absolutely, that's not like just because he had these injuries last year and he's not been there. So Holroyd will drop in numbers, I think, and Palacia will be the starting prop.
Definitely.
He looks quite lean. He's a lean prop. He played all right yesterday. I didn't see a lot of him, but I think there was one set where he made 3 or 4 tackles in a row. He made some good hits. Obviously, he'll have to get fitter, but I think the whole side are going to have to get fitter in pre-season.
Duel after this pre-season under Arthur.
He was in the grand final for Brisbane in 2022. He didn't play a lot last year because he was down a bit of the pecking order, wasn't he, at Gold Coast?
The Titans, yeah.
So, but I think it's a good signing. If you're going to say to me, we're signing a prop with 70 NRL appearances. He's played in the grand final down there.
We're saying a prop with 70 NRL appearances.
It sounds about the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
We all know that we needed more size in the
He
pack.
played quite a few minutes as well, didn't he, off the bench yesterday? So
he played a majority of the second half.
So I think...
Were you impressed with him? You were there?
I don't know whether I was impressed with him, because I weren't particularly impressed with Samoa as a team. They got crap. Dominated, so it's a bit... I thought it were a bit difficult to sort of judge anything from him. I know that he played a lot of minutes. I saw him like tackling hard, and
your review of Cooper was amazing. That was 60 minutes.
Yeah, but they won.
But it's different when you watch it on the telly and when you're on the Western Terrace and the entire game's at the other end of the bloody pitch.
Yeah, couldn't even tell
which one.
No, where it was at some points. But I don't think Brad Arthur wants a luxury prop, does he? 10 minutes off,
bigger minutes.
So Aledski can do 80 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
This guy looks in a.
He's a big lad.
Big lad, but he's lean. He's not a Lasone size prop. He's a starting prop who will hopefully be able to put a good shift in, and hopefully take some of the workload off Aledski, and then meaning that when Lasone's coming on for his short stints, his can be short, impactful,
clinical,
and I think that's if we can keep them props fit and healthy. We've always said that Sam's a bit of a luxury prop, isn't he?
Well, he is,
But
I think we might be able to afford that luxury prop next year. And
if these two kick on,
Jenkins, and there's probably going to be a prop that again misses out each week because you've got obviously Ledsky, Palacia, Lasone, Holroyd, Tom Nicholson-Watt, and Cooper Jenkins. That's 6 props there now.
But that's what you need, isn't it?
Yeah, 6 props.
Yeah, we need loads.
There's going to be concussion. There's going to be injuries.
Yeah,
but when they're all fit, one of them's missing out every week, potentially even 2.
But when you speak to players, they want that, don't they? If they're guaranteed the shirt, then I know some are guaranteed the shirt if they're fit, like Brody Croft.
And Aledski.
Yeah. I think Aledski will be loving it for next year if he's got some.
Well, he's got some mates now, hasn't he? And if they're good, if they're half decent.
But
if anything, that's the biggest impact of these prop signing is that we'll get more out of Aledski.
Yeah,
even more so, he's been carrying a side at the moment, whereas he'll take the workload off him so he can be more impactful.
And 2 years has
to
been
be fair to Lissoni, he usually makes errors when he's tired, doesn't he? Because he's been playing
because he's playing too much.
long. Yeah.
So I think if we can spell him,
short bursts,
wrecking ball.
Yeah, off you go.
We might finally be able to afford a luxury prop.
Might finally win another grand final. Well, we asked on Twitter, on X, we did a poll earlier today. The question was, how do you rate Leeds' transfer business so far over the off-season? And the answers were excellent, good, average and bad. And good won the poll, 66%. So clearly a very positive feeling around
I think there's one
the
more
business
signing
already
to do.
made.
And it is second row, and if the rumour comes
and
true,
it is John Bateman,
I think it's a fantastic signing.
Is that generally the first time you've heard that rumour?
Yeah.
It was going everywhere on Saturday, that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if... someone, I think 3 other people told me that on Saturday. I think we might need a second row. And it might be a bit of an unknown because we don't know... Well, hopefully Gannon comes through.
I've got
but
a good feeling about Gannon next year.
He's a new signing for us effective next year, is Gannon. Bentley, you've got Bentley and McDonnell. I just think we could have that 4th one. But then I think Cooper can play the edge, apparently. So he said Palacia could play a bit of edge. But I think another second row wouldn't go amiss if we've got the cap space.
Yeah, if we could do
it won't be a quota spot because I can't see any of the quota spots being relinquished.
No, I think that's it as far as... I think we'll get another signing if something like that Bateman deal comes off, where it's like not that. Costing as much or
and
something like that.
Non-quota.
It's going to be interesting if that comes off.
I think it will. Even though I just heard it about 12 minutes ago, I think it's absolutely 100% going to happen. We've had 2 new kits already. The Rhinos have released 2 kits so far. The home shirt is a remake, which is one there, if you can see it, on YouTube. It's a remake of the 2005 World Club Challenge winning shirt, and the away shirt is black with a geometrical style and blue shoulders. Which one's your favourite, Chris, of the two?
Well, that black one's bloody awful. So
So
I don't even know what it is.
It's properly split the room as that kit. I'm just getting it up now, actually, so I can remind myself. I just think
It's like a training kit.
it does look a bit of a training kit. I think for me,
Just when I've gone on, it's geometrical, isn't it?
I love it, don't
I
they?
think with the triangles, if they'd have done that lining with yellow, bring a bit more pop of colour. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it.
We'll
personally.
only wear it 2 or 3 times anyway.
Well, we've got another kit coming, haven't we?
We'll have another kit coming out, and
Which looks really good after Ash. I'm only joking.
we haven't seen that.
We
one.
haven't seen that.
This is a home run. It's about as a Leeds Rhinos kit as you're going to get. Blue with an amber stripe.
Yeah, I
across
mean, I've spoken to her about that kit on pod before, haven't I?
Yeah.
It's good, but I've got a few issues. But I won't go into that. But
that back.
that black one,
Don't bore everyone.
But the
Chris.
black one,
that black one will. How many times did we wear that black one this year? That dark blue or whatever it was. Twice.
if that, yeah, twice.
Oh, the bus seat kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wore it about
Okay,
3.
Haraway,
That'll be the
twice.
same with this black one.
Yeah.
We won't wear it.
No.
Um,
It'll be this and then the other shirt.
Well,
so if you're going to give the black, give this one out of 10.
8.
I think it's an 8.
I think it's slightly higher.
Dear.
So a 9.
Just just from the memories.
then. And then the away out of 10.
I'm not even giving it a mark.
I'd say about 3.
One.
One,
And
just
I'm being
because it's black,
generous.
'cause I am a fan of.
I don't get it. I don't get what it's about. I don't understand it. I don't like it.
One.
Rubbish. Sorry.
Sorry, Oxen. Do you think they should continue with these remakes?
Well, that's part of my issue with the kit.
That it's a remake?
Well, it's just a straight copy.
Yeah. Like for like.
So that, to me, is not a kit. That's
So
a
do you-
heritage kit.
Do you think they should have paid homage to it rather than... But then is that not just another... Should they have given a slight nod to it?
You can't have that and then a normal-looking Leeds home shirt. So you've either got to go with that as a heritage kit or the home shirt.
Or the home.
So we're not going to get a heritage kit because that's his home shirt. Yeah.
I like the principle of paying homage to some of our best shirts. I don't want to see it every year, personally. I think it'd be good if there's certain kits over the next 10 years that we wore that we can pick, that we use.
It should be a heritage kit to me.
Yeah, I just think comes across as a bit lazy, I think.
Exactly.
For me.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm looking at all the designs we've got up in here in the wall. I think it's great to bring some of them back to life. But I don't want to see it every year.
No.
But we didn't win anything in 2006, so there's no kit to pay.
If they
homage
bring
to.
that stupid, big, massive V back,
Oh yeah, no.
He hates
I could talk about this for hours, right?
We know.
But right, well, I'll praise.
Please don't.
I'll praise
The
it.
Jags have kicked off, so I wanna-
Kits like that should be a heritage kit, but there's no reason why we can't have a blue shirt with amber hoops every year.
Every
and change
year.
the design. You don't see. Does St Helens not have a red V?
No.
They missed the trick there in their anniversary. Actually, they should have done. But anyway,
So that's my thoughts on it. It's a nice kit. It should be a heritage kit, not the home kit.
I think it should be the 2015 shirt. Not that.
You've got to wait another 10 years for that.
I think, because it's 10 years, that's correct, by the way. 10 years. And I don't think that shirt gets the love it deserves.
are you happy with the bringing out these? If this was the home kit we were doing every year, we were bringing back a kit and it was always a home kit. Would you?
No. I feel when they did last year, was it last year, the first one?
Yeah.
I thought that felt...
That meant that was a 2004.
Yeah,
first
that
time we won the
felt-
title in 32 years.
That felt nice as a...
But that were a heritage kit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was
not
that
the-
wasn't
Yeah,
the
this is the
home
home
kit. This
kit.
is the home kit, which it shouldn't be.
And I felt that was... Because it was felt kind of newish or, a good spin in the anniversary. That felt good, but the fact that they've done it again, I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah,
y-
I think
a
we
bit
need
of
to pick and choose in the right moments. We've done it for the first grand final we won in 32 years. This is World Club Challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Effective from 2005, and then probably when we won the Challenge Cup in 2014 and did the treble. I don't I don't want to see a rehash of all these old kids because I own them all anyway, pretty much. But selfishly,
Well, I'm back full circle. I've got all the old
You're
ones.
coming back.
You're going full circle now, yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, if anyone's got a 2005 one of these that they're selling, let me know because I'll buy it.
You might have got one, but it won't fit you.
It won't
It's a
come
large
out.
boys.
It needs at least. I need three of them to stitch together to fit me.
Still.
Are they quite hard to get hold of?
I've not seen many on eBay. I haven't looked. I'm on a ban.
Might cash in.
Get in touch with Reese. We've got one.
Yeah, I'm on a ban at the moment, so.
The Rhinos have also announced the 7-4-5 game, an idea of Rob's along with Ed Slater, which started over a WhatsApp conversation a few years ago that the two of them had. And here we are with the official game this month. Tickets are available now for this game, so make sure you head down and support the MND community. This looks like fun, a hybrid of
it's
league and union. Nobody's going to know what's going on.
Just for the 7-4-5,
including the
then
refs.
it's 7 for Rob,
4
4 for Ed,
and
then
5
5
for
for Doddy. So that's where the 7-4-5s come from. Because I think
It's not kicking off at 7:45.
Yeah, 7:45. I think it's a great concept. It's going to be fun. Like it's going to be. We're going to watch it, and I mean, people don't know what the rules of rugby league anyway.
Are they
They're known
mixing
about
the
it.
sides up, or is it a
No,
league
it's
side?
a union side.
league
and a
and
league
a
Oh,
side.
right, that's better, because I thought they were mixing them up, which...
No, it's going to be...
you want something to hang your hat on, don't you?
So there's a Gloucester team, effectively, where there's players like Billy Twelvetrees and Tom Young.
What a name that is.
Yeah,
Real
also
union
known
name.
as 36.
Right.
12
See, you're all right. You know stuff about Union. I couldn't care less about
Sorry,
it. So.
that nickname just went under the hill, by the way. That was amazing.
There's someone. No, there's someone.
12 trees.
There's someone watching or listening that is laughing their head off. They really are. They're like, they're pulled over.
Sorry.
But you know, there's big names coming back. I know there's Kylie Lulawai's coming back. I know Willie Poachers are being dragged in to come play. Kev's going to be there, but he's not playing. Johnny Wilkinson's going to be there, but not playing. So look, it's an opportunity to see icons in both games, in a unique game. And you know, Rob did so much to the MND community. Ed and his family are now going through it now.
Definitely. Yeah.
And our legacy to Rob is to keep banging the drum for MND. So please do go down and support it, because it's part of our legacy. We're ever entwined with the MND community now. At the
Forever.
Rhinos. So
Absolutely,
we must
forever.
show our support.
Yeah, it'll be
And
good.
It's just going to be good fun. Just go down, buy a ticket, have some fun, get
And it'll be a
confused by
laugh.
what the hell's going on.
Yeah. And the players will. And the refs will.
And you'll probably see Kylie Lulawai smash the shit out of someone again, which is worth the entry
Billy
fee alone.
12 trees.
Billy
Hammered.
12.
I'm hoping as well that it becomes an annual event. So I think it would be nice, because we've got that link to Doddy, Ed, and obviously Rob. Something doesn't have to be at Headingley, but something that they
They might do it.
continually-
Might do
Gloucester,
back
they
at
say.
Gloucester.
Might
down
do it
next
at
time.
Gloucester next time, and
They
kind
could do
of
it
something
up
that they
in Edinburgh maybe for Doddy. They could
Yeah.
move it around.
precise
The
take it on
venues.
tour.
Hopefully it takes off in it as well, because good cause, good people.
The IMG ratings came out. The Rhinos dropped down. See what I did there? To third place in the scoring chart. Saints moved up to first, and Wigan second. Thoughts on the scoring? How did you feel about?
It shows how the performance on the pitch affects your score, because
exactly.
It can't do.
because we're top.
Everyone,
top.
we were
It
top.
can't do.
No, because you get points for the average.
You do
the
get
average
points.
over the last 3 years of where your position. So that's why we've dropped to third, because we've finished eighth.
'Cause we're crap.
8th and 6th in the last 3 years. So that's why
I think
our
there's
scores
some
have dropped.
fandom stuff that we dropped down on as well. I
Yeah.
think TV viewers, but it all stems from you being crap.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
So
so
you- I mean, we can't.
we're fine everywhere else in facilities and
like crowds, I don't think you
else.
can gain any more from crowds.
Yeah.
Because we've got the
We've
highest.
just got to perform.
It's just
got
the
a screen.
performance.
It's
It doesn't
not
really
really.
matter.
We've
It
got
doesn't
a-
really-
It's not really for us to worry about, is
Phil
it? To
Daly.
be honest,
No,
It will always
which
be
is
a grade A
which
club.
is what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
So I think there's nothing that unexpected. I would. The only thing I would say is Salford and
Salford got shafted
Huddersfield.
a bit, I think.
Huddersfield and all.
Salford will
Hull don't
come back
deserve-
up though, because they'll get a better score for the stadium now. That's all been sorted. Or
Yeah.
getting
Well,
sorted.
I mean, to me,
but
it
their
just
performances have been quite good.
they have, but I mean, it shows the instability with the finances and stuff, doesn't it? That's that's
I think
important.
Huddersfield have got to be very, very careful, to be honest.
Oh, I wish Toulouse were in instead of Huddersfield. Sorry, Huddersfield fans.
No, I agree.
There ain't a
Absolutely
Huddersfield
agree.
fan watching.
I'm just not sure. Out of all the teams, I'm not sure what they had.
No.
Like Salford, they don't get great crowds, but they're doing better. They've
got a consistent crowd. I'll say about Salford,
but
they've
they
got a
play well,
consistent
don't they?
crowd because their away following is always quite good.
Yeah,
and
they're a good team
hard
to
base.
watch.
There's some teams they can't seem to build it for some
And
reason.
they're in a good area to if they want to push on.
Yeah, good market. They play well.
Huddersfield, I don't mean this to be horrible, but I don't get what they had.
No, not at all. I'd rather have Toulouse in, and I do think they're moving towards 14 teams.
Yeah, I think it'll go to 14 next year, and that is what it should be doing.
I think it'll be York, and it's going to be interesting because it's going to be a fight between York, London, and Toulouse. I think for those 2 extra spots, if no one drops down,
Bradford might be pushing it in there as well.
Saw Brian Noble yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you congratulate
He
him?
didn't appreciate my joke about I didn't realise daylight savings went back 20 years on Sunday.
Did you actually say that to him?
Yes, I did. Yeah. His response was, "Well, if Oasis can get back together."
Well, yeah, that's not a bad one, is it?
Get back to the Bulls.
So we got to roll with it.
It's good. I think it'll go to 14 next year, and I'd like. I don't think London are ready. They've just not got the infrastructure.
They've got a team. They've got an
They need to be
owner.
on Brewdog's note.
I just don't
They need
think
to go
they're
to
ready.
Brewdog's door and say, "Come by us."
Ideally, it'd be London and Toulouse, but I'd love it for
I think
York.
it'll be York and Toulouse.
York and Toulouse.
I'd love York to get in.
Two
Somewhere
away trips to
different.
France every year as well.
They've got history as well. I can remember going with my dad to watch games at York, Dewsbury v York.
What were they called before the Knights?
Seahawks.
No.
I don't know because they've always played in those colours. I don't know whether it was Hornets. No, not Hornets.
I'm going to Google.
Wasp. No, York. They might have just been called York Rugby League Football
York
Club.
Rugby League Football Club. York.
That's what's gone wrong with Huddersfield.
They dropped the Barracuda.
That's what the fatal error they made.
All right, so York City
Should
Knights
have
is a Phoenix club established after the original club York folded in 2002. York Wasps.
I did say that, didn't I?
You did say Wasps.
Wow. I've got a programme somewhere.
Pretty sure Josh's family was involved with York. No.
Yorkshire versus Lancashire. Sean Wayne thinks it's a good idea, kind of instead of in that gap of England versus France. This question raises its ugly head every so often, as like we said off air.
Well, if Oasis can reform, then.
Well, exactly. The sort of state of origin English version. Should it come back? Should we bother with it at all?
I kind of want to understand the purpose of bringing it back because I'm assuming it's
Because we're so jealous of origin.
I think it is. Yeah, they're trying to get our own origin. We're not going to ever get.
They've tried it.
What origin? We've tried it. For me, I don't know if it's instead of the England-France international. I don't know if it's in that period there.
It is. I think that's what it's saying.
I'm not really a fan of that midweek international, mid-season international anyway. I don't want players going away and getting hurt, and I think
they won't want to play in this neither, will they?
No.
I think if
there's no appetite for it.
For me, I understand that the England-France game is not exactly the best preparation for a free test series against Australia in the end of 2025, but I don't think Yorkshire versus Lancashire is the answer back either. But I'm a bit like it feels like an exhibition event that should probably be played at the beginning of the season.
Either at the beginning or at the end.
Or at the end, yeah.
Before they go.
I'm not against the idea. I just don't like the idea of it being in the middle of the season. And unlike you said off air, Lancashire doesn't exist.
Well, I think
there's no club. There's only Salford in. Oh, Oldham's. Is Oldham Lancashire? Yeah, Oldham's Lancashire.
Oldham,
Salford's Greater Manchester.
Well, none of them are.
So
Warrington's Cheshire.
Yeah, they're all Cheshire, aren't they? Yeah.
Will the players who are younger than us, will they buy into? Do they see themselves as Lancastrian?
Because they have it in the women's game.
No one does.
They do have it in the women's game, and I think. But I don't know. We'd all love an Origin series, wouldn't we? But
just bring Origin over here.
I'd rather just go to
bring Origin over here. Play at New Everton Stadium.
You've got to remember as well. I think in Australia, 80s, the leagues were split states.
Which made it even
Which
more
made it more
tasty.
sense. And when Origin originally started, it was who you played for. It wasn't where you were born.
It wasn't where you were. The club you were.
But they switched it, and I just don't think there's a hatred between Yorkshire and Lancashire. And not all players are from Yorkshire or Lancashire either. Mike McMeekan, who would he play for?
He wanted to just have
Morgan Knowles.
a
What about
week
the
off.
Cumbrian.
Brad Singleton.
Well, he's not playing for it.
Excuse me, I got a shiver.
So I'm just not sure what the purpose is, and I think IMG are actually pushing for it, which is probably why you said you think Sean.
I think Sean Wayne's been told to say
Look,
it.
I'd go.
Would
Now,
you?
talking about shirts, you're too young for this, but do you remember the Rodstock Origin series? The shirts were unbelievable. They were
Is
a
it
bit
worth
like that Carling Black Label one.
Is it
there.
worth to bring it back just for the shirts?
And have Rodstock. if we've got Yorkshire and Betfred plastered on both.
Oxen and Betfred.
No offence to Betfred, but
Or Oxen.
I just don't get
If it's
it.
an exhibition game, do it before at the beginning of the season or end. Couldn't get a toss.
The only thing you've got to do is if Sean Wayne said, "You will not get picked for England if you do not play in this game and you're not injured."
Stupid though.
But that's not going to happen, is it?
No. Don't bring it back. Can't bother it. Don't bring it back.
No.
It's done. It's finished. Anything else before we finish up?
Well, is it worth just speaking about England really briefly because it was
Go for it.
It was a
Yeah.
You did go to the game,
I
guys.
quite enjoyed it yesterday. I really the only reason I want to talk about England is for two reasons. I thought Harry Newman played quite well.
I've seen him get so much stick online,
Really,
Really?
I saw loads of people praising him.
and I'm like, well,
Um,
they just don't
That's,
like him.
that's social media. Isn't it?
They just don't like him. They're like, well, he's not as good as Herbie Farnworth.
Who is?
I don't
on a
think there's
minute.
any
There isn't a
centre in the world.
centre on the planet.
But yeah, I thought Newman played well. To be honest, probably one of his best games of the last 7-10 games. To be honest, I thought it was really good. But yeah,
Sean Wayne seems to do really, really
Herbie
well with him.
fucking Farnworth. Oh, Herbie, how much is your Farnworth?
Yeah,
There we go.
definitely.
Pun on the
He's
name.
nice.
He's the best
I've got more.
centre.
Please,
I've got
please don't be injured next year. when
Yeah,
Ozzy's
please.
I didn't know he went to school in Skipton.
gone. Yeah,
I only found that out the other day. Some of the lads I used to play with the rugby club
went over
played
there
with
quite
him.
young,
at,
didn't he?
played quite a lot of some lads I played with rugby have played with him at school.
Yeah.
he was just on another. He were playing a different game to everyone else.
Yeah, well, I know
That try when he beat about he stepped mid-air and just
To catch the ball.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just bowled over 4 people, and not 4 Samoans as well. Like it's not small people.
Yeah.
Just he's a great player. Like it is as a future talisman for the England side. Like you've got you know if you want to push the international game, you've got your pin-up
Build
boy.
it around
You've got
him.
your pin-up boy there.
He's
haven't
got a
you?
nice tash.
Yeah, he's got a
And
great
good
mullet. Good looking kid.
Just a brilliant player. But I enjoy the Test game on Saturday. It was nice to watch an England game that bit competitive. Samoa weren't amazing. They didn't. I thought they could try a bit. Would contest a bit harder. But I am absolutely pumped for England Australia next year though.
Yeah, well, it has-
3 Test series.
it has
I will
absolutely
buy. I
messed
will.
up my plans.
Yeah, I told you go for the Lions.
I'd rather not.
But yeah, I'm really. But if that 3 Test series against Australia comes to England,
Comes to
next year,
fruition.
So where do you
I
think
can't.
Tottenham Hotspur,
Definitely.
Spurs, Ellen Road,
Spurs, Everton.
Etihad,
and
Etihad,
Everton,
Everton.
and Etihad.
Everton or Etihad, and the last one should be at Ellen Road. I don't like
Always-
Ellen Road.
Always should be there.
I don't
Always.
like Ellen Road, but if
quite synonymous.
if we've lost the first 2 games, Ellen Road will still sell out.
Yeah.
It'll sell out whatever.
But it's
Regardless.
quite a synonymous. It's got a good
It's got-
rugby league history, and you know,
Yeah,
the pedigree there
and
as well.
it'll sell out.
yeah.
I don't think we'll sell Tottenham out.
I think.
But I don't think it really
I
matters.
think Wembley's
No.
too big. Old Trafford's a dump.
I think if we can get 50,000 in Tottenham,
Yeah.
success in it. If they hold it in Huddersfield, Wigan, and Hull, I'll despair.
Then, and this will be why it won't ever come back for another
I'll despair.
God knows how many
Yeah,
years.
it's got to be held in. I know they're not rugby league stadiums, but
Doesn't matter.
It needs to be.
They need some ambition, don't
Build
they?
it and they will come.
We haven't played Australia since 2018.
I think
That is an absolute joke.
Headingley, Wigan, and Hull are good for England Samoas.
Headingley was brilliant,
England,
wasn't it?
England Tongers.
And I was slumming it on Western Terrace, which it was actually really nice.
Yeah, is
You can't see it screen though.
yeah. I think the rugby league grounds that we've got, which we've used for like international against Tonga and Samoa, are worth it. You've got to take it to some bigger venues.
They've got to.
Because you've got
And get it sorted now and announce it.
Yeah,
And
get it
get the
sorted
tickets
now.
sold.
Get it sold
I'd
out.
be going to all 3.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
go to all 3. I would absolutely go to all 3. So if you get the tickets out now, you've got a year to sell them. They'll go.
And people are going to want to go to Spurs. People are going to want to go to the new
There's a
Everton
big
ground.
Australian community in London anyway, so
Yeah,
they've got a
it's-
massive market there. It's
they
always
are.
done well in London.
Yeah.
And I'd prefer 45,000 there than 21 at JJB or whatever it's called, Brick.
It's Brick Lane Community now, isn't it?
Something like
Community.
that.
Brick Community.
If they don't have any aspirations for that tour, then I'll honestly.
I think there's a good appetite for International Rugby League at the moment. You can see it's there. People have turned up at Headingley and Wigan. You've got Samoa and Tonga actually adding competition. A Tonga game, by the way, on Saturday.
Oh, it was beautiful, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. But you've got 5 good nations there now. It's not.
This Samoan series wasn't a foregone conclusion, was it? So I think
it should be a World Cup every 4 years, and I think there should be a 4 nations in the middle every 4 years, but 2 in between the World Cup.
I thought England, it'd be good to see them down in that Pacific.
They should definitely just say, look, we're just going to fly to you. We want to play.
Yeah,
we want to play with you lot. There's no point.
There's nothing
Samoa or whoever getting upset and flying over here with half a crap side.
Nothing bigger than an Ashes versus Australia, is there? Whatever anyone says. I mean, I
since 2018.
18, yeah. Personally, I'd like it to be
Great
Great Britain, but I can see the argument for it not being.
There's no point. There'd literally be no.
It's just that's my childhood growing up watching
and
Great Britain.
It's synonymous,
and that lion logo, which is perfection. I'd love it to be Great Britain, but I can see why they wouldn't.
It isn't.
There's no point. But, yeah.
We shall see. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Please make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify and iTunes. And of course, we'll say it again, we've got the live show at Brotherhood Bar in Leeds on Thursday, the 14th of November at 7:30pm with our special guest, Bestie of the Pod, Jared O'Connor. Tickets are available now for £4 per person. Just click the link in the top pinned comment on this YouTube video or check out the X account at Lot17A. All the details are there. And we'll see you all at that live show. If you enjoy what we do, please also consider signing up to our Patreon page. And again, all the details will be on the top pinned comment of this YouTube video. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you all at the live show. Take care.